अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरु परम्पराम्। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येम अक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Let's chant the seventh mantra of the Mandukya Upanishad. Nantah pragyam na bahish pragyam no bhayatah pragyam na pragyana ghanam na pragyam na pragyam adrishtam avyavaharyam agrahyam alakshanam achintyam avyapadeshyam ekatma pratyayasaram prapancha upashamam shantam shivam advaitam chaturtham manyante sa atma sa vigyeyaha. So let's not forget that this mantra defines who you are. Sa atma sa vigyeya. If someone were to describe who you are, this would be it. Even you and I cannot describe ourselves as accurately and as completely as this mantra. We know ourselves probably better than anybody else, but we still don't know ourselves completely. There's some missing pieces that we don't know about, which Vedanta fills in. This is the mantra, defines who you and I are, really. Saha atma sa vigyeya. That needs to be known, is what it says. So, it's interesting that the Advaita Vedanta is something so totally unique in this whole creation. There is nothing like it, nothing. So you need to understand why. You cannot just say, we are unique and let go of it. I mean, that doesn't really prove anything. So you need to understand what is the uniqueness about Advaita Vedanta, about the teaching of who you are. So it is this. Vedanta is the only one which says you are the whole creation. There is nothing apart from you. You are complete. That's it. This is what Vedanta says. This is the unique part. No one else says that. So we must understand this. Even we don't understand it, let alone somebody else. But this is the truth. What can you do? So, in the discussion about the definition of who we are, definition of Atma, Atma means I, which, by the way, we are on today is the 12th class of the 7th mantra. So it's a very exhaustive discussion engineered by Swami Akhandanandaji. I mean, if you look at his book, it's like 50 pages just on this introduction to this verse. Amazing. So in the preparation for, in the clarification, not just the preparation, but in the clarification of this, the uniqueness of Vedanta, three questions are raised and answered. So people will say, how can you say this? By saying that you are complete, how does that really help someone? What is the result of it? What is the phalam? So we saw that we proposed three difficult questions that we will answer to acquit ourselves and prove the uniqueness of Vedanta. And so those three questions are, just by teaching who you are, how do you make yourself complete? You've got to do something. You are already incomplete, you are suffering, you've got problems in life. And by suddenly saying, you don't need to do anything, you are complete, how is that going to help? This is called phalam. Secondly, it talks about pramanam. Pramanam means that where is the evidence, where is the proof that you are complete? There's no evidence. We don't have any experience of completeness. Nobody has any. You ask anybody in the whole world. I saw recently that the population, human population now has reached 8 billion people. 8 billion. I remember the time it was 6 billion. I don't remember how long ago it was. But now it is 8 billion. So you ask every 8 billion person, what's your experience? They may have different experiences, but they'll basically say it, I'm just a limited person dealing with this world. That's all that they'll say. So there is no evidence that you are complete. There is no pramanam. And finally, the third thing is, because everything needs to have a method, a means to achieve something. That's what the whole world is meant for. The moment you are born, you have a series of incomplete aspects about yourself, and you now fill in the holes. You grow physically, you grow mentally, you get a lot of education, you accomplish things. This is what we all do. So this all requires some means, sadhana. And for you to say that, you're already complete, what sadhana is there, what proof is there, and what is the result of it? I don't understand that. This is what people are saying. And we actually we actually propose these three questions. Whether somebody is saying that or not, we are proposing these three questions so that we can acquit ourselves with the answers, so that we have an understanding of the uniqueness of Vedanta. So basically, the crux of these three things is pramanam, sadhanam, and phalam. The crux of this is that it assumes you are a limited person. It starts with the assumption. Wow, I didn't realize that my voice would become such a problem. I've, got something similar, same bug when I was traveling, and it hasn't gone away, and I was hoping it's better by now. So forgive me, I'll have to struggle through that. So the crux of that is that in the crux of the three questions about sadhana, pramanam, and phalam is that I am a karta. Karta means I am a limited person. Now I have to grow from being a limited person. So this is what is called kartatantram. Kartrutantram means my life is based on what needs to be done. How do I do it? What do I know that should be done? And then how do I accomplish it? This is what it is. So the accomplishment is kartrutantram. So in the very beginning, Vedanta says, this is not the only way. This is one of the two ways. There is another way of accomplishing, which is an accomplishment of the already accomplished but not known. And we have gone through so many examples of that. You are very familiar with it. And that is, you may possess something but didn't realize that you already have it. And not only that, but what pertains to things that you accomplish and you possess. But what about yourself? Can you ever have a misunderstanding about yourself, that you already are something and you don't know it? Yes, that's also possible. And the 10th man example is a very beautiful example, very important example, that shows that yes, it is this feeling of I have something but I don't know it is not only true for things that you possess, but it is about yourself. So in summary, we say that there are two methods of accomplishments. One is what you don't have and you want to possess it. So there, to look into that, if you want to get something other than yourself, anything which is other than yourself, then the Kartrutantram method applies. Sadhana applies, pramanam applies, phalam applies, all of those kinds of things apply. Okay? But what is it? But what if you are already what you are, but you are missing some important piece out of that? What in that case? In that case, we say that the accomplishment is that of Vastu Tantram, Natu Kartra Tantram. We have done all that. I'm just revising it so that we can summarize the main points. The Vastu Tantra means what? It is to know something as it is, not any other way. You cannot fool it. You cannot say this also, I can take it like this, I can take it like that. No. If you want to taste mango, you are looking for mango, then you have to see it, the fruit, as a mango, not in any other way. So it was interesting. That reminded me, my wife, when our the two younger set of grandchildren come and visit us, Sanya and Arjun, who almost like close to 4 and 2 now, another couple of months, she cuts a lot of vegetables and fruits for them. So there she gives them good nutrition. So what she has found is that they like mangoes a lot. And so my wife goes crazy. She goes shopping for the best mangoes. Even now, it's out of the season. Just yesterday, she went out and she was complaining, I cannot get good mangoes, not for ourselves, but for the kids when they come. So once in a while, what she does is, she gives them papayas instead of, or some other fruit instead of mango. And these two youngsters say, no, this is not a mango. She says, no, it tastes like mango. The papaya is, it's very close to it. It looks like it, cuts it into small pieces. Even these youngsters say, are you kidding? This is not a mango, it is something else. So to see something as it is, it's what is called Vastu Tantra. So therefore, the premise of Vedanta is that the accomplishment of the completeness is Vastu Tantram, natu Kartra Tantram. If that is the case, then all these questions that you had proposed for us don't apply. There is no external phalam. First of all, we can even pause. What do you mean by there is no external phalam? External phalam means there is nothing to be accomplished. You are already what you want to be. All you need to do is to remove the confusion about yourself. Confusion means some error that you are making about yourself. And the classical example is that of the rope and snake. So, if you take a rope to be snake because of whatever reason, the light was insufficient, you have memories and vasanas from old days where there is a fear of snakes, whatever you take which is, snake-like in shape, you just take it to be snake, whatever reason there are. The fact of the matter is that you get scared by it and you are affected by it wrongly. And so all that needs to be done is you don't have to do anything. You don't have to kill the snake. You cannot bring You cannot bring a lathi, a big stick. You cannot shut the door. All those things would be if there is a real snake. But if the snake is a false snake, then the lathi would not help, the stick would not help, closing the door doesn't help, nothing else, nothing needs to be done. You just need to understand that this is a mistake. I was just talking about our life when we were growing up in Bihar. I was telling my some friends just a couple of days ago. There was one incident that happened because my father had a very beautiful bungalow. This is for the first time a non-Britisher was living in this bungalow. It's a beautiful bungalow. I had 12 acres or something like that, and lots of domestic people to help, gardeners, this, that, or the other. And but it was in the middle of a jungle, forest area, and it was infested with all kinds of animals, including snakes. So I was telling some friends of mine that one time one of the gardeners came running and said, "Sir, we have a python in our garden." So, we had seen a lot of snakes. I was a youngster. I don't remember how old it was, 7, 8, 9, something like that. And there was a big commotion in the home where we had seen a lot of other snakes, smaller snakes, but we had never seen a python. We had heard about it, but never seen it. So this guy came in and said, "Sir," to my dad, "there's a python and he's eaten some things like rats and I don't know other things. And he has wrapped himself around a tree and he has kind of like gone to sleep." So gosh, we all rushed out to see him. I still remember that. And this python must have been, about 3 inches round, huge, even more than that. And then he had flattened himself because he was wrapped around the tree. And he was a big python, like 8 or 9 feet. And he was just staying there. Now what to do? How do you get him out? Because everybody was afraid. So my dad finally decided, because we were living in a jungle, and there was there's a lot of dangerous people and so on. So he used to have a gun, a long gun. My dad decided, you know what? I'm going to have to use the gun and kill this guy. And so that's what he did. It took like 3 or 4 shots. Finally, he fell down, unwrapped himself, and died. And I remember we had to send his skin to a taxidermist in Calcutta, and they made little sandals out of it and so on. I was just telling that story to some friends a couple of days ago, and that reminded me of it. So if the snake is real, you have to do something. If the snake is not real, you don't have to do anything. You cannot do anything. There is nothing to be done. So here's the situation. We have an estimation about who we are which is false. It is due to a phenomena called adhyasa. So the adhyasa, which is an error, a mistake, is explained in considerable detail in the Adhyasa Bhashya by Adi Shankara in introduction to the Brahma Sutra, Sharirika Bhashya. So the introduction to the Sharirika Bhashya is what is called Adhyasa Bhashya. How does this error occur? How come I make a mistake about myself? Huge discussion, very beautiful discussion. Fact of the matter is that I, as an individual, am making a mistake for whatever reason, because I didn't know and so on. I'm making a mistake both about myself and the world around me. This is it. And because of that, I fall into the trap of trying to do something about it. Kartatantram. So Vedanta says, this isn't going to work. You can do whatever you want to, but please be scientific about it. It cannot be done. You are already complete. You cannot be more complete. You think you don't understand that you are complete, and therefore you fall into the trap of assuming I'm incomplete and then becoming complete. This is not going to work. It has not worked for millions of years by people. And 8 billion people are making the same mistake. Instead, understand that you are already complete. How do I understand how much? Because my experience is just the opposite. Yeah, that's exactly what needs to be done. Your experiences are due to an error. That is not reality. It's not reality. And so you have to now know as you are, because you're making a tremendous mistake about yourself. So the question then becomes, who am I? What is it that I don't know about myself? I think I know about myself. I have the best intentions about myself. Everything is, I may need some help here and there, but I know exactly what is going on. No, you don't. So what is it that I'm supposed to know? Okay. Do you know that you were never born? So I say, no, I didn't know that. Really? Do you know that it is not possible for you to die. Not possible. Not that you will not die. It is not possible for you to die. Did you know that? No, I didn't know that. I had no idea. How? Exactly. Did you know that neither the experience of sukham or dukkham, pleasure or pain, will ever touch you? It really does not touch you. You think it does, but it doesn't. Did you know that? No. Is that so? Did you know that there is no possibility of you growing old or beset by diseases? Did you know that? No. Then you don't know yourself. Don't know yourself. You're just making mistake after mistake after mistake. You're really mixing up the truth about yourselves with the untruth that you see around you. That's all that happens. The word cannot penetrate. It's like it's like a dream. You're imagining all kinds of things in the dream, but it doesn't happen to you. Did you know that? No, not clear to me. Exactly. So you are that vastu that you need to know. You don't need to do anything. You cannot do anything. You are what you are. You just make a mistake about yourself. That's it. This is the premise of Vedanta. This is the uniqueness of Vedanta. Nobody else says that. They'll say, no, you know what? You have to do some sadhana. You have to purify your mind. You've got to do this. And it's because of certain non-understanding where all those ideas come with. So Vedanta says, my dear, your nature is pure jnanam, which in English it is translated as consciousness, which is really a very inaccurate, I think, and I don't know what else to do. Inaccurate translation of the word jnanam. Jnanam means the essence of knowledge. What do you mean by the essence of knowledge? So looking at this word of essence of knowledge, Let's look at this in the form of a short meditation. Okay, so let's look at it this. And there will be some teaching as part of this meditation, not just, it's very possible that you may not have thought of it this way, or that you may have thought about it, but it hasn't really fructified in your mind. Regardless of that, let's do a short meditation on this essence of knowledge, which is who we are, Jnana Swarupam. We have talked about Sat Swarupam, but let's look at it Jnana Swarupam. Okay, so let me turn off these bright lights a little bit. Om. Let us take the example of a body of water, like a lake. In this placid lake, suppose someone drops a rock or splashes the water with a stick. In other words, creates some form in the water, in that example, let us see. There is a person who's causing some forms in the water with the help of dropping a rock or splashing it with a stick. But in doing so, does the person import some water or it takes advantage of the water that is already there? It is clear that it is the latter. There is no import of any water. So the material cause of the forms created in the water is the water itself. It's called Upadana Karanam. The person who is causing the perturbation is the Nimitta Karanam, but the Upadana Karanam comes from the water itself. This is the example. Now let us apply this example to ourselves. We find that our life is full of specific events. Like the knowledge of paper and pencil on a desk. The sound of the doorbell. A person calling the cell phone. These are all knowledge of specific events, knowledge of things. If you look at yourself, the entire day, from the moment you wake up to the moment you sleep, is filled with these knowledge of specific events. You have paper knowledge, pencil knowledge, table knowledge, doorbell knowledge, friend talking to yourself on the phone knowledge. Your life is full of these specific pieces of knowledge. Even if there is nothing in front of you, you have memories. You have knowledge of memories. They also appear in your mind. So the question is, like a person who dropped a rock into a body of water, or who kept shaking the water with a stick, creating shapes and waves. He used the upadana karanam of the water itself. He didn't have to import the water. So is the case of all the specific knowledge of events. The table knowledge, did it have to create the knowledge? Did it have to import the knowledge? No. All it had to do was to invoke the vastu, the pure knowledge that you already are as the upadana karana. So the table knowledge simply borrowed your pure knowledge, your jnanam. So it was table jnanam, doorbell jnanam, talk jnanam, that comes and goes. And when it comes, when they come, the various knowledges of events come. They do not bring their own knowledge. They simply invoke you and your pure knowledge. You are an ocean of knowledge. An infinite, formless knowledge. So the forms that you see as specific pieces of knowledge simply borrow your own intrinsic jnanam. This pure intrinsic jnanam, is this your own personal property? If it is, where did you get it from? Where do you keep it? No. This is universal. This is the pure jnanam which we are all made out of. It is already there. And our sense of individuality, of the individual personality, simply consists of the perturbations, the forms, the connections, the vasanas that invoke this pure intrinsic jnanam, which is universal, which is what Paramatma is. See this fact. You are, in fact, a limitless ocean of jnanam. It never started. It is always there, timeless, anantam, satyam, jnanam, anantam. This is who you really are. The various thoughts, the various specific pieces of knowledge, table knowledge, doorbell knowledge, talk language, talk knowledge, they are like waves in the placid lake. They have a beginning. They have a presence for a limited time, and they dissolve. The basic jnanam was always there. It never began. Like the water in the lake was already there. Any perturbation, any creation of forms just comes and goes, borrowing it from the nature of the water. Similarly, see your own nature. It is pure jnanam. It is the essence of knowledge. It is the material of knowledge, the upadana karanam. And it's constant, unchanging, limitless. See that as your own nature. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So that is the Vastu. That is the you, the Vastu. And not understanding this, the fact that you are Anantam, Jnanam, you take yourself to be a victim of experience. Victim in the sense that you are affected by the various specific Vishishta Jnanam. Vishishta Jnanam means very specific Jnanam. Table, book, etc., etc. I am the seer of the table. I'm the seer of the paper. I'm the recipient of this. I am doer of this. All these are specific things that are invoked from your own jnana. So it is like a dream where you are, creating some kind of a mental activity. And the mental activity, because of the practice of where you were, is based on very elaborate schemes that really fool you. And exactly even in the Jagrat Avastha, same thing happens. You have vasanas from way back there. And then you are really taken up by the experiences that I'm a human being, I'm a man, I'm the son of such and such, I'm the husband of such and such, I'm the father of certain people, grandfather of certain people. These are all specific things. It's not me. Because why not? Why is it not me? How can you say that's not me? Because these are all waves in my own jnanam. Because they all have a beginning and an end. This is what is called pragabhava, pradvamsa abhava, badita, anitya. All those kinds of things apply to it. Jada, inert. But the jnanam, what we call consciousness in the English translation, jnanam, samvit, pure jnanam, is who I really am. And all these perturbations occur in me. They borrow the jnanam from me, just like in the case of the placid lake. The various forms borrow the water from the lake and they disappear. So this is what is called vivarta upadana karanam. You must know this very well. It is not parinama. It is not completely change, but it just appears to change, but it doesn't. What is called vivarta upadana karanam. So every night when you dream, you create some kind of a play, and then it dissolves. It comes out of you and it just dissolves. Same thing is true in the Jagrata, in the waking state. We create this elaborate scheme without any reality. Because the only reality, the only vastu is jnanam, which is sat swarupam, always there. Anantam. It has no end. There is no beginning, no end. It's all is there. Anadi. Anantam. So this is what Vedanta says is what needs to be done. You are already complete. So the whole whole issue is not karta tantram but vastu tantram. You have to know the vastu. So, what we saw here was that that the vastu, the reality, vastu here means the reality, who you really are, does not require pramanam, has no reason for a sadhana, and the phalam is just removal of ignorance, and it becomes complete by it is already complete, and it appears to become complete. Right? So there is no sadhana, no pramanam. Now we enter into a slightly different topic, which we will start from next week, but it will be short. So it says, wait a second. All this time we talked about sadhana, sadhana chatushtaya, viveka, vairagya, shatka sampatti, mumukshutvam, purity of this, artha, kama, dharma, etc. What about all that? Why is it you've just abandoned it? Doesn't it matter? You said there is no pramanam, no sadhanam, no phalam. So we say no. We do not abandon it. You don't abandon it, but it has a different relevance that we must understand. So that is the topic that very briefly we will take from next class on. Okay? Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. I know many of you are traveling, so I'm not sure how many were able to attend today's class. Let us see. I know many of you are traveling, so I'm not sure. Doesn't it matter? You said. Okay, good. Good, good. Start of a new year. Wonderful. I don't see any questions, so I will take your leave and hopefully we'll see you next week. Hari Om.